Hey, Kevin here, and just want to give you guys a update video. Haven't had one up for about a week, so you can kind of see we're progressing right along in here. We're down to the last about 4 sheets of wallboard that we're staining. They're kind of just off camera here. They're one coat on them. We're going to get a second coat on them, let them dry, cure out, and then we can go ahead and install the last ones, which are going to be wrapping this corner here, which is our bedroom area, and then a little bit of space in here in the bath utility that we got to catch up. So it's really taking shape. We got this wall going here, and it's very woody, but it's very bright, and so we were happy with the color here. Gave us a nice wood grain, but it's bright enough that it's not dreary inside because we have a very dark floor, and there's a contrast between that and the ceiling with a different type of plywood. And so we're down to the last 4 sheets, like I said, and then we got kind of multiple projects starting to pick back up again because we can go ahead and start trimming out the electrical in here now that all the walls are on. So we've got outlets to put in, we've got switches, we've got lighting to put up, fixtures, the smoke alarm over here. So we can kind of start picking that up and getting that going. Obviously we've got to do our trim, and one of the things that we're doing is we've got these 1x2s, pine 1x2s right here, and this is another area where we saved some money and caught on to something. If you go over in the trim department of the big box store, they sell a 1x2 like this that's considered a trim board, and it's arguably a little higher quality. It may not have as many knots and so forth, but they wanted $2.72 a stick for one of these. But they also sell a 1x2 over in the lumber department adjacent for 97 cents. Same dimension of wood. Now granted, you're going to have to pick through these a little bit because you will find this is a construction grade of lumber right here, and so it's probably not going to be quite as pretty if you think straight clear grain is pretty. But I like seeing the wood grain. I like seeing the knots as long as they're tight and they're not going anywhere. You only need 2 sides of this, so if you look through your pile and you pick out, you get one flat side and one edge side that's good. That's all you need when you're putting trim up, because the other 2 sides are against the wall and the ceiling up here, this is our crown molding that we're going to be putting up. So as long as you can sand that a little bit and put your finish coat on there, whatever it is, whether you're clear coating it or staining it or whatever, and you've got a nice color there, or nice good side on 2 sides, you're good to go. So we saved about 60 bucks on buying these and picking, taking a few extra minutes to kind of pick through the bundles that were in the lumber department. That holds true for a few other dimensions. Those are 1x2s, you can get 1x3s, 1x4s. The trim side is going to be a little cleaner, but you're going to spend a lot more money if you're willing to go over and pick through the same dimension lumber over in the lumber department. You can find some really good boards in there and save yourself a lot of money. Now, 60 bucks might not sound like a lot, but you keep doing this through your entire project and it adds up into thousands of dollars. And so I just wanted to kind of point that out as a, kind of the same premise we did with the walls. We started out with these $37 sheets. 33, whatever they were, and decided, you know what, we like the looks of this stuff, and it was only 27, and then we actually did a little fussing with them and got them to knock another 20% off, which I think was $5 or something.
We saved $600 overall just changing our type of wood that we decided to put on the walls versus the ceiling. And
honestly, I like both, but I like this wood grain because I think it looks good and it saved us a lot of money, and it's a tough piece of wood. I mean, this is not sheetrock. You can't, punch this stuff. If you ever get mad in this house, do not punch this wall. You're going to break your hand. You're not gonna punch through this plywood like you would a piece of sheetrock, so don't do that. So anyway, that's where we're at. We got our sheeting all good in here through the house. I think I'm gonna say 85% complete, something like that.
He's got 4 more sheets.
We got a couple of doors that we need to go get now that we're at this level. We're gonna have to decide on our outlets and switches as far as our color and style that we want, so that we can get those, because we can go ahead and start making up the boxes here and trimming them out.
We already have our lights and ceiling fans. We just need to put them all up.
Right, so the ceiling fan can go up over here. Let's go take a look in the bathroom, because one of our next big projects is gonna be the shower. And so we decided, we were talking about doing some concrete shower in here, and we spent quite a bit of time researching that and thinking about it, and trying to source materials, and it really didn't pan out for us. And I think it was a little out of our comfort zone because we've never really done it, and we don't have a lot of resources to fall back on to kind of walk us through the process. And so we're going to go ahead and tile it. That's something we are familiar with and we've done before. So it's a 3x5 shower. It's got a concrete floor in it, and we're going to go ahead and put the concrete board up and tile this in. And we're just debating on how high up the wall we want to go, if we want to go all the way to the ceiling, or if we want to go up so high and then finish with another material, whether we do the wood or what. And then of course picking out the tile, which is another process. We got to figure out what color and style of tile we like. I tend to lean toward more of a natural stone look, and I'm not sure where Anise is at on that. No comment.
We'll find out.
So we're trying to, the big push was to get through the walls, because of course it takes up a lot of space. We could only lay about 5 sheets out at a time, which was taking up the entire 2/3 of the building all the time, with all the sheets laying around in various stages of being prepped and dried and so forth. So that took a lot of time. So now we can kind of have simultaneously have a lot of things going on. We can be putting in our vanity, we can have the toilet. We're not going to put it in yet because we have the shower to do and we don't want to get that in our way, so we're holding off, but it's sitting over in the corner. We have the lighting for in here on this, the vent light. We haven't chosen the light that's going to go here, so we have a temporary bulb on here just to give us some light so we can see what we're doing in here. These outlets are actually temporary. We're probably not going to be, or not outlets, but trim outs are not probably going to be the finished pieces, but these were just some that we put in so we could use outlets and have a switch to flip the light on and so forth temporarily. We just need another sheet here, and we'll trim out, and then we can set the washer and dryer in. We're going to have to go buy the hot water tank and install it. Again, we're just kind of waiting to get the trim out of the way so we don't have to wrestle with those things for trim. And we still haven't really decided what we're doing on the kitchen cabinets yet. We're trying to get creative as far as, the cost of big costs in building a house. Two of the biggest ones are kitchen and bath. And, putting in a bunch of cabinets and counters and so forth, you can spend a lot of money really fast in that department. And so we're still looking at some alternatives, trying to decide how we want to go about doing this. The one thing we're really, if you haven't figured out by now, we're sort of anti-traditional on all this. So we're not really wanting to go with the flow. This is part of, and I'll get into another video on this, but the whole idea of the mortgage and the high cost of housing is because we all go with what everybody else has been doing for years and years and years. And for some reason, people like to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on bathrooms and kitchens where they spend very little of their time, but they spend a heck of a lot of money. And I just, I like the aesthetics of a nice looking kitchen, and it's functional and so forth, but I also want to stay within, a reasonable budget to get that job done, still have a nice looking kitchen without the ridiculous expensive high-end
budget,
things.
I just want to pipe in on that. This is really where, when you're finishing, this is really where you can just blow the tar out of your budget.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Literally, like, we could go and wind up dropping an extra $2,000 or $3,000, $4,000 between this little kitchen and bathroom if we aren't watching what we're doing. So these are two areas that you'll really get yourself in trouble when you're building and just blow the budget if you're not careful. So it's, and the other hard, difficult part that I know I'm personally having with all of this is the fact that finding quality stuff for the money spent. Like, if my kitchen cabinets are gonna cost me $2,500, I wanna get $2,500 worth of quality. We're having a hard time finding that.
Right.
And yet I don't wanna go spend $5,000 on this little kitchen for cabinets to get solid wood. So we're kind of struggling with that, but you really have to watch. You know, you could spend $100 and get $150 get a really nice kitchen faucet, or you could spend $400 on a kitchen faucet and blow your budget out of the water. So this is an area that you really have to watch.
And the water comes out of both of them just fine. And so it's an aesthetics thing and a budget thing, and you have to meet that, you know, somewhere in the middle there. And you know, we came up with a budget, just to roll back a little bit, of about 30 grand to build the house. And that's not including the property or any of the outside things, but just the physical house itself. And that requires us to be very involved in that process. And we have gone through and, you know, decided, hey, we're gonna change a material or change a finish in order to keep within that budget. And maybe we've given a little in one area to get a little in another area, but you just have to kind of keep tracking that money, because you can get out of hand. We do have some friends that were building about the same time as us, and they went way over budget, and they're, you know, a little bit regretting it. And so anyway, just want to give you an update. We're going to be getting after it again here, finishing up, and we will see you on the next video.